Great. Thanks so much, Dave. Go for it.
All right. Thank you, Alan. And I'm excited to be here at TAD Summit 2024 again. I've had the pleasure of talking at a few TAD Summits in the past. And, I feel like I'm falling into a little bit of a rut because I always go through the same routine. I reach out to Alan a few months in advance, ask for a speaking slot, and then I forget about it and procrastinate until the last minute. Then I whip up some kind of tech dog and pony show and kind of wing it. This time it's going to be a little different.
Cool.
Well, not a lot different. I'm still winging it, but it's going to be it's not going to be a tech talk. I'm going to talk about Jambonz from the business standpoint.
Excellent.
I'm going to share with you a little bit about Jambonz success, why I think Jambonz has been successful, why I think it's found the sweet spot it has. I'll tell you some of the things we're doing in the company now that I think people will find interesting. And finally, pivot to the future and talk a little bit about what Jambonz wants to be when it grows up.
Excellent. And just to let you know that Rob Pickering was talking you up through his presentation.
Ah, very nice. Okay. Now, does all that going to add up to how Jambonz and Drachtio are changing the world of programmable comms? I don't know, but I'll let the audience decide on that one.
Cool.
So let's get started. I want to start by asking a question to those watching. Think about this. I'm going to show you 4 logos: Intel, Gore Tex, Vibram, and Dolby Digital. Now, what do you think those brands have in common? Think about that. They're obviously in different industries, but what do those brands have in common? And if you think on it for a little bit, you're probably going to get to the right answer, which is they're all ingredients that go into other products.
Okay.
In fact, they're known as ingredient brands. And what is an ingredient brand? An ingredient brand is an ingredient that goes into a product and elevates that product, right? When you walk in, for instance, you walk into Mountain Hardware store to buy a jacket, you buy that jacket in part because of the little Gore Tex tag hanging off it that says, this is going to keep you warm and dry in the mountains.
Yeah.
You can't buy a Vibram sole, but you buy the shoe that has one because of its reputation for ruggedness. So they're all like that. You don't buy Dolby Digital experience, but you might choose the movie to go to because it's offering that and it's elevating the experience. And one of the challenges when you're marketing an ingredient brand is these products are largely hidden. By definition, they're ingredients. These are sort of the hidden warriors that go into a product and elevate that product. And that's why back in the day, Intel had the famous Intel Inside campaign, still one of the most compelling and successful marketing campaigns of all time. People were buying these big chassis as they came back in the day with no idea what chip was inside.
Yeah.
Now, why am I telling you all this? Because Jambonz is an ingredient. People build their voice gateway with it. They build their CPaaS platform with it. Now, Jambonz is not an ingredient brand. It doesn't have the stature of these. Today, current day, people don't say, I want to buy that company's voice gateway because it's got Jambonz in it. But that's our aspiration, and it will be at some point in the future. But nonetheless, Jambonz is an ingredient. It's hidden. So if I want to talk to you about the success of Jambonz, you have no reason to believe me, other than I'm a nice guy and you might tend to believe me, but because it's hidden, it's in a lot of products, in a lot of places that you don't see. For example, tomorrow there's a great panel that Alan's putting on with 5 of the leading innovators in the voice AI space. You probably didn't know that 4 of the 5 are using or have used Jambonz or components in Jambonz in their product. Jambonz is helping to innovate in the voice AI space in a very real way. And you probably didn't know that Jambonz is carrying millions of calls a day in contact centers, including the largest brands in the world, global contact centers run by global brands, Fortune 50 companies, through our partners and channels. You wouldn't know that because it's an ingredient and it's hidden. So to start with, I want to sort of pull the covers off a little bit and show you a little bit about where in the world Jambonz has gone, what it's doing, for whom. This slide has a selection of our Jambonz customers. It's not all of them. It's about as many as I could fit on one slide. And you can see they're kind of broadly distributed. Jambonz is playing in multiple segments. So one on the left is the programmable comms segment. I've just labeled that as programmable comms. These are people that are building CPaaS type platforms. They're CSPs, and a lot of them are doing some fairly interesting stuff in the mobile space as well. So we have Haya and Mobius and IQ Mobile all doing very interesting stuff using Jambonz or Jambonz software and components in the mobile space. We've got a lot of other interesting companies in that space as well. One of my favorites is Callable because they're long-time customer in the UK in financial tech, taxi dispatching, very interesting kind of company. And Sound of Data is another really kind of cool company as well. They're European based. They do a lot of things, but one of the things they do is handle all the voting for Eurovision. So at the top of the hour, when everybody in Europe picks up the phone, those systems all go to Sound Data and handled by a Jambonz system. So they need a system that can scale more or less infinitely and then scale back down. So Jambonz is doing a lot of different things in that space. In the center, we have the CXAI space, contact center AI. And here, I think it's fair to say Jambonz is rapidly becoming one of the dominant platforms for voice gateway, if not the dominant platform. We have some of the largest providers in this space. We're really happy to work with companies like Cognigy, really high quality companies like Cognigy, like Core.ai, who have been the leaders in this space, who work with global brands, who drive voice out into these contact centers in very large volumes, very strict requirements. Recently, we partnered with Raza. Raza has built an interface, an integration with Jambonz so that now they can offer that to their customers as well. And there's a whole host of other CXAI companies that I've listed that we work with to help them compete and win in their space. And then on the right side, we have voice AI. Now, I've sort of segmented the market a little bit differently here. But when I talk of CXAI, I'm talking about large enterprises. I'm talking about global brands, Fortune 500 companies, very strict requirements on performance, on service level, very long sales cycles. These are people that need a lot of guardrails, just the strictest of requirements and very high volume kind of traffic, kind of the highest bar to pass, if you're in telecom. And the voice AI, we have more small, medium business and customers maybe with a bit of a higher risk profile. We see a lot of innovation going on in the space because of it. And we play in the space as well. We have helped VAPI develop telecom telephony interfaces so their customers could move off the crazy pricing that Twilio was throwing at them.
Yeah.
We help several of the other companies, Foxy, Vida, and so forth, that will be talking at Core.ai. I will be talking at TAD Summit here. So this is just kind of showing a little bit of the breadth of what we do and then the in-depth, particularly in the CXAI space where that's becoming a very sweet spot for Jambonz. One of the great things about it, one of the sort of the great values of the way our company is set up is the customers. We are providing them, again, an ingredient, but we go along and make sure that ingredient is integrated, that it works properly, that it gets customized if they need to. So we work very closely with these customers. And therefore, we're sort of at the intersection of voice and AI and telephony and AI. And our customers give us great ideas on new features every day that we should be building, new ways to help them attack the market. It's a fantastic kind of partnership. So I wanted to start with that and just give you a sense of the success that Jambonz is having out there in the market and driving customers' success. That's really the key for us. But if we step back, what's driving Jambonz' success? Why has Jambonz been successful? And I ask you to consider some of these large providers moved off well-known commercial products and platforms to an open source project. And if they moved off a couple of years ago back in the day, it was kind of a one-man project. Now, these people are smart people. They don't take risks like that. Why would they do that? There would have to be a compelling value proposition. And what is it? What do I think it is? Was Jambonz doing something really unique? Was Jambonz really being that disruptor with something really unique? No. The number one reason that Jambonz has found this sweet spot, poor product market fit of the prior solutions. I'll go so far as to say, in terms of product market fit, the prior solutions were horrible. Let me use an analogy here. Let's say you want to buy a car. You go to the car dealership. You walk around the lot, you see a car you like. You open the hood and there's no engine in there. Now you turn around and you can see the sales guy scurrying towards you as fast as he can get there. And when he gets to you, he says, don't worry. We've got a partner 2 states over, makes the engine. We're going to ship it here. What we're going to do is sell you a trailer. You're going to put it on the back of your car. We're going to mount the engine there. We're going to hook it up to the transmission system. It's going to be fine. You're going to drive around with this trailer with the engine on the back. Now, that's a hard sales proposition. That guy's not going to make that sale because we all know the engine goes in the car, right? But that's the kind of sales proposition these CXAI companies were trying to make to global brands. They're walking in there with an omni-channel solution, all the trimmings, all the goodies. We got web chat. We got SMS. We got WhatsApp. We're connected to every CRM. We got the best back-end AI. Oh, voice? Voice, we're going to ship your voice over to this far distant corner of the internet, and it's going to get treated over there. Well, that's ridiculous. That doesn't sell for many reasons. For one reason, many of these Fortune 500 companies want everything on-prem. I mean, data privacy is a real thing now and being taken seriously. If they don't want it now, they want the option for it. So the solution doesn't fly in the first part. Secondly, they want one neck to ring. These are people that need one neck to ring, and they want that one neck to be knowledgeable about every facet of the product. They don't want that one neck to have an arm's length relationship with somebody that they're going to have an arm's length relationship with, which is actually critical to the whole solution. Yeah. It's just poor product market fit is all I can say. So Jambonz came into this space and really just did a few simple things. And sometimes simple things have big results down the road. So it was just designed to be an ingredient from the beginning. It wasn't a product to get out in front of anybody else's product. It wasn't a product that you could get kind of maybe sort of hook up to. It was designed to be an ingredient. It was open source. A lot of times we talk about open source like it's just got some virtue in its own. Hey, it's open source. Well, it really doesn't. It's just that it's malleable. It can be changed. It can be adapted. You don't want the engine in the hood. You want it in the trunk. Fine. You need to customize the engine because this is going to be going off-road. We can do that. You know, the engine is back in the car and you can customize the engine as you need for the needs of the car. That's what open source gives you, along with the ability to run anywhere. So we run on a cloud. Our customers have hosted SaaS solutions for their customers. Then they do private cloud for their customers. We deploy on-prem. We deploy in virtualization like Proxmox and VMware. Mm-hmm. We deploy in people's data centers. So you can run it anywhere, which is what this technology needs to be. It's a white label design. So it's designed to be white labeled. It's a multi-tenant white label design, kind of specially designed for the needs of the CXAI people. And we work very closely with them. So we're able to innovate fast. We innovate faster than the much larger teams that they moved off of. And I think they would tell you that. And we deliver it. We deliver it with our experience. So we have deep telephony experience on our team. We've been doing this since, Noah came down from the mountain with the 10 commandments. We know how hard it is to do and how hard it is to do right. And telephony is never a thing you do once and get it right. In this business, every customer comes to you with a different SPC, a different voice group, different preferences. And you've got to be ready to work with them all the time. And that has to be part of your team. If you're CXAI and you're selling to these global brands, that's got to be part of your team. This is what Jambonz brings to the fore. So that's my take on it, why Jambonz has been successful. Briefly, I want to talk about our business structure. Those might be interested. So Jambonz is the open source project. It's the software. And First 5.8 is the commercial entity that we formed this past year. So it manages the project, manages the community. It handles all service delivery through First 5.8. It's the owner of the intellectual property, the software copyrights. It's completely self-funded. It's cash flow positive, and it's growing. It's no longer a one-man team. We have a team of 6 now, and we're growing, looking to hire at the moment. We provide global, worldwide 7x24 support for our customers. First 5.8 is not an open source company. In the sense, open source is not our mission. Our mission is to build great software products and to compete and win versus our competition. Open source is a tactic that we chose at a certain time and place based on the competitive needs and how we thought we could execute our plan the best. And we will always continue to have the open source as the base of what we do. And we'll continue to provide in the form we do for our customers. We may in the future also develop commercial licensed software on top of that, should we choose to. A little bit about our business philosophy. So how do we see ourselves? What sort of company do we want to be? It's pretty simple. we see ourselves selling shovels to people that are in sort of the AI gold rush. So if you're in the AI gold rush, we're not the people in the mines with you. We're not building foundational models, but you're going to need good tools to get the gold dust out and get the gold nuggets out. That's what we want to do. We want to provide the best tools for people in the intersection of voice AI. And particularly that involves several things. Telephony is our calling card, cost-effective, scalable telephony. Easier said than done. And it's a sweet spot for us because a lot of people charge into AI and know a lot about AI, but not so much about telephony. Well, that's what we're here for. That's fine. We want to provide the widest range of speech and LLM integration. It's not really, I don't think, a great strategy for companies to be a single vendor solution and say, I'm going to go into voice and I'm a Microsoft only shop. Things are just changing too quickly. We have built support for, I think, about 15 different speech vendors into Jambonz. We're always adding them. If our customers come to us and ask for a specific speech engine that works particularly good in some dialect of Arabic, we can get it in for them in the next week or two. Recently, we added support for Speechmatics. We added support for PlayHT 3.0 as soon as it came out. We've added support also for OpenAI's real-time API beta as soon as it came out. So keeping up to date on all that and giving customers, again, the best tools and the best integration is a big part of what we do. We want to provide best-in-class development environments. That's a big focus of our team right now, and it'll probably be more evident over the next year. And then we bring our deep telephony expertise along with the product, along with the ingredient to the customers to deploy on their behalf. That's who we see ourselves as. That's what we're doing. We took a different path to growth, and I'm just going to briefly remark on it because it's kind of interesting in the whole open source conversation. So the traditional path is seed funding, Series A. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to spend a lot of time raising money. We kind of wanted to spend time building things, and there's other reasons why we chose not to do it as well. But our path was different. We got to a similar place in a different way. We leveraged open source. If you go out and raise a Series A, you might be more likely to build a lot of your tech stack from scratch. When you don't, you've got to think carefully about what you can use that's out there. And there's a lot of great open source out there. If you're able to have an MVP that people actually pay for, you can forego some seed funding, or in our case, maybe all the seed funding. We had a very supportive early customer. Came to us and we said, well, we want to build this thing with you, but we want it to be open source. Now, that it's a rare customer that will agree to that. That's why a customer is so special to me. But we were able to leverage these things and grow organically. So now we look back and we've done something a little different recently. So to us, our path was kind of fungible with the seed funding path. We could have gone out and raised money. We didn't. We did this other path. So we've gone back to some of the key open source and key customer and made some grant, 2% of the equity shares outstanding in first 5.8 to those companies because they help, because it's completely rational. These two things are somewhat fungible, and the reward structure should be perhaps somewhat fungible. So we offered 2% of the grants or the outstanding equity in first 5.8 to some of these key players that helped us get off the ground. I bring it up because I suppose just as a topic for discussion in the industry, all of us who engage with the open source ecosystem have to be mindful of it. It's very valuable and it's very fragile. Yeah. I don't know that this is the best solution. I don't even know if it's got imperfections, but it was our attempt to be a little thoughtful about how we got where we were and who helped, and make sure that we try to bring them with us in some sense. I think I'm to my last slide. Oh yeah. So remember, when you want the best chocolate chip cookies, get the best chocolate chips. And you want the best plate of pasta, get fresh pasta. But if you want the best gateway, then use Jambonz.
Excellent. No, that was great, Dave. Really, I think it just sets out the story so nicely. And it is spot on around the deep expertise. It's a platform that has the flexibility and supported by an ever-growing team that enables all those customizations, the tweaks that keep popping up. I mean, you mentioned around adding in like Speechmatics, but also so many LLMs,
Yeah.
constantly evolving. So
Yeah.
one of the things, and this comes from Rob Pickering's presentation, is around speech to speech,
Mhm.
because that's not a thing. So just interested in your perspective on how that's going to change the market.
Yeah, and we added support recently for
The OpenAI.
OpenAI's real time, and we did that specifically for one of our customers, Vida, for Lyle. He asked us, and
Yeah.
we wanted to do it anyways, but we worked over the weekend and got it to him because that's kind of what we want to be doing for our customers.
Cool.
I mean, I think it's powerful. It's it's the problem is the guardrails. I mean, we've got a great solution. And I've got a few thoughts on how to implement guardrails, but you're going to lose latency, no matter how you do it. And that's the whole ball game. That's what it's got to offer. So I see, people are out trying to deploy it again in the small, medium business because they don't need the guardrails in a lot of cases, or risk averse, but the cost structure is a problem too. I mean, I'm sure that will come down, but will it come down enough to be in high volume contact centers? I don't know. It's the wave of the future for sure. But
I agree. There is open source alternatives as well. So I think with OpenAI, the pricing just scares me. It's like 25 cents per minute or something. When you see that pricing, you go, okay, if they were the only player in the market, then yes, I understand the billions of dollars valuation, but I think there's more competition there. But you can take your screen off. You're sharing your screen still.
I love it. I love the brand. I just want to congratulate you. I mean, we had you on one of our first podcasts, and I'd like to go back and listen to that. I mean, history always repeats itself. You've been successful since the beginning of time, and I wish you'd have given us all a chance to bet on you. Like these other people. Not too happy about that, Dave, because you're seeing the customers that you've been incorporated now, and hearing the Vappies and Pickering and all these guys talk about what they're doing off of you. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have mentioned your name on our podcast. So I'm really happy for you. And Alan, I think this is a segment for the success for you too. This is what TAD Summit is about, Jambonz, and helping people, helping companies, and just the success of a true leader, a true genius. And the whole way you present this is just amazing. Are you going to be doing traditional funding now, or you're past funding at all? You're just motoring.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we would do funding if we had a development plan that required it,
You're in a good place.
It would be nice in some ways, I suppose, but so far we've been able to fund the plan that we want.
But also, I think it was a very wise choice, because some of the companies in this space that were predominantly open source that raised cash, there's a time pressure, and I'll be honest with you, there's a BS pressure. They had to spin some of the deployments around, and we have access to this data, so then we can use it for this application. And
it completely destroys people.
Exactly.
So you've definitely taken the right path, and I'm just really proud to have had you on and seen the growth, and really exciting. And again, many years ago with your switching with your coin card platform, so I know the Dave Horton products. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, look, he was successful then, and he's successful now, and it's just amazing. And congratulations.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
kind, for sure, Jay.
Actually,
great presentation.
Not many people say I'm too kind. I'm too kind. I think that, let me write this down, Alan. That might be the first time we've heard that. We just tell the truth over here, Dave. And you know what? You're the real deal. And we have another real deal coming on next with Noah. And that's what TAD Summit's about. So TAD Summit's about the Dave Hortons, the Noah Rafalcos, the Rob Pickerings, and the different people, the Paul Sweeneys. I mean, it's really special what Alan's created here. And we always talk about these different trade orgs and this and that, but we just tell it like it is and tell the truth, and people, take accountability. So I'm really proud to be allowed into TAD Summit with Alan a while ago, and proud to be part of a group of people that includes you.
I'm glad to be in here as well. It's a lot of fun.
But anyway, for the sake of time, Dave,
Yep.
that was excellent. Thank you so much.